I had a brain injury about 12 or 13 years ago, and I was in Peru cycling from the Andes to the Amazon, and we'd been on a really, really rocky roads where you had to cycle standing up, and there'd been about 15 punctures. And then we came into a village of the last hour of that day that had tarmac. The guy to my left bunny hopped, and the guy to my right was going a bit slowly, so I pulled over to overtake him, and I hit the thing that the other guy had bunny hopped over, and flew over the handlebars and smacked down on the road and flicked my bike over my head and kept going down the road. So I went straight to the medical centre and they stitched up my face. I couldn't make eye contact with people. I couldn't speak a full sentence properly. I was very easily frustrated. I couldn't read. I read a lot. I couldn't read. I wouldn't know if I'd read a page. Sometimes I didn't know if the book was the right way up. I couldn't cross the road because I didn't know if there were cars coming. I couldn't drive because I couldn't remember what you did. Although I knew what to do, I couldn't actually do it. It was really peculiar. I couldn't go back to work. I couldn't speak on the phone. Yeah, it was normal, easy, simple things were really hard, and it was very frustrating because I knew that I could do all of these things. I just didn't know how. I struggled to get anybody to hear what I had to say because it happened abroad and my face was quite a mess. And so when I came back to the UK, everybody was just concerned about fixing my face and my teeth, and didn't really hear that there was a problem with my head. I got a letter, I don't know, about a month later saying I was fine and there was no need to take it any further, which was really annoying. Every time I tried, something would happen and stop me, and I would give up again. Once your face is healed and I got the new teeth and my hand was fine and things, I think it's very hard for people to understand what's going on, and people would say, oh, I feel like that, oh, I know what you mean, and it's so different, and the level of fatigue is different to feeling tired. I don't feel I got much understanding at all.
It's something that as a charity we're fighting for, to get a much bigger profile around brain injury. It does affect a large amount of people, and it's not something that people know enough about until it affects them or one of their family members. And in a sense, you illustrate a perfect point, that you do get a lot of sympathy and a lot of people worrying about you when that you have the physical symptoms and when people can see there's been a problem. But as soon as that heals, that sort of sympathy and that awareness does eventually go, and people start thinking you're better again, when in fact sometimes things don't get better at all. And as I say, you're a perfect example of that. So you spoke about you did eventually get in contact with Headway Thames Valley, and what happened at that point?
It felt like a lifeline. Oh, I'm gonna cry, sorry.
It's okay, take your time.
It was just nice to be understood and have somebody actually hear what I had to say. Because my accident was so long ago, one of the hardest things to realise and come to terms with was that this is it. I don't get better. I don't get me back. I just have to work on what I have now. That was really important because I felt like I've been fighting all these years to be heard and be listened to, so that I can get back to how I was before. But I learned there that I have to accept that this is how I am now, and learn other tools to help me. And some ways I'd already adapted. I used to have a really, really good memory. I didn't need to write anything down. Well, now I have a calendar on the back of the door, and one of the women from the brain injury group sent me a link for another calendar that I can use for food, meal planning, which has been amazing. And it was just really interesting being in a room with people who understand that it's not the same, and everything is a bit different, and it's okay to be tired.
One of the things that the Living with Brain Injury touches on is acceptance. And I know for a lot of people with brain injury, acceptance is a real challenge. And when we talk about acceptance, it's never a case of accept this is it forever. You spoke about then you have made some improvements even since attending the course, despite your brain injury being over 10 years ago. So we do think there is some hope, and we can help people beyond that.
I think the situation where you're not being listened to, just keep trying. Somebody will listen.